I'm going to make a pot roast on the stove. I have a pot roast, it's about 2.5 pounds. I've taken it out of the packaging and I have patted it dry with paper towels. I have 3 small onions already sliced up in little half-moon slices. I've chopped up garlic. If you don't have fresh garlic, powdered garlic is fine. I have some fresh ginger, which I'm going to peel and chop up. I have a 1/2 cup of soy sauce and a 1/2 cup of plain water. For this recipe, I'm not going to use salt because there is a lot of salt in the soy sauce already. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put these items aside and I'm going to peel up some ginger. It is a little rough and knobby. Doesn't always get 100% perfectly peeled. We like a lot of ginger in our meals, so I'm going to put this whole stem in after I've chopped it. It's a very fibrous little plant. It's a little difficult today. Like I said, if all of it doesn't come off, you can always take a little bit of a paring knife and get in the little nooks and crannies, which is what I'm going to do. You just kind of scrape it. Just be careful you don't cut yourself. Just kind of scrape there. Maybe get out the little ugly bits there in the corner. It doesn't have to be perfect. If you have a little bit of the brown stuff on it, the covering, it's not going to hurt you. And this is kind of what the root looks like. It's a little nubby, comes in all shapes. You can break them off and use a little bit. Do what you want. I'm just going to kind of slice it. As you can hear, it's very crunchy. And if you can see, it's very fibrous. I don't know if you can see that. If you don't have fresh ginger available to you and you have some in your pantry, some dried, powdered, that's fine. Doesn't have to be real small dice. Just put that back in the dish. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to first put some pepper on the pot roast. Like I said, I'm not going to use salt because the soy sauce already has salt in it. The next step, I'm going to place it in my Dutch oven. I have some oil already heating up, just some regular vegetable oil heating up in my Dutch oven behind me, and I'm going to brown one side, and then I'm going to flip it, and then I'm going to add these ingredients, and we're going to put the lid on, bring it up to a boil, and then lower it to a simmer. And it's 2.5 pounds. It probably will take about an hour to an hour and a half, depending on how rare, medium rare you like your pot roast. I tend to like it on a little bit more done side. My husband likes it more on the medium side, so basically whoever gets to it first gets to choose the doneness. So let me put the oil heating in here. Take my little tongs. Let's put it in. Just let it brown for about 3 to 4 minutes on the one side, and then I just flip it over. If you want to brown the sides, you can. We just do it this way. But just remember to pat it dry. If you do rinse it off or anything after taking it out of the packaging, as when you add it to the oil, the water will cause the oil to stick back at you. If you don't feel comfortable using vegetable oil, you can use olive oil if you'd like, something that will burn or cook at a high temperature. If you don't want to use any oil and you want to use the non-stick sprays that you can find in the market, you can use that too. I've used those in a pinch. It may not get as brown as it will with oil, but it's still usable. Since we're waiting for the pot roast to brown up on the one side, we'll take a little break right now. See you back real soon. meat should be pretty well browned on the other side. We're going to carefully flip it over. See, as you can see, it's nice and brown. Gets a good little caramelization going. Next, we're going to add our onions. I'm just going to throw them on top. If you really like onions, you can add more if you'd like. I'm going to add up the chopped ginger, or powdered ginger, if that's what you have in your pantry. I'm going to add the garlic. We're going to add the half a cup of soy sauce and a half a cup of water. And just let it lay there. I am going to add a little bit more pepper on it. As you can hear, the simmer kind of died down a little bit from adding the liquid. I'm just going to push some of this to the side because I like to have my onions cooked and a little bit of the juices. Oops. And I'm going to cover that up, and I'm going to let it come up to a boil, and then I'm going to lower it to low, and it'll simmer for about an hour to an hour and a half. We'll check the doneness in about an hour.